Have you ever been at work just watching the clock, thinking there's got to be something better than just working for somebody else? Many of us dream about leaving that 9 to 5 grind and finding something that gives us more freedom and control over our lives. But is that really possible? And what does it take to make that leap? In this video, I'm going to share my journey from having a regular job to doing some freelancing to where I think being a YouTuber is like the ultimate solution. And if you've been having that burning desire to take control of your life, stick around because that's what we're going to be discussing in this video. I've asked ChatGPT to help me out with this video by asking me 10 questions as if me and ChatGPT are in a podcast scenario and ChatGPT is interviewing me. So I'm going to be going through these questions and answering them as if we're on a podcast. So here we go. Question number 1. Why do you think so many people dream of leaving their 9 to 5 jobs? I really don't know why so many people dream about leaving their 9 to 5 jobs. I don't know if there's actually like a lot of people. I'm not sure a lot of people think about it really. I think one of the things that really drive people in life is comfort in their life. They maybe not make enough money. Or maybe their lifestyle, they don't live the lifestyle that they want to. And so it's a struggle. I think anything that could help somebody an extra $500 a month or something like that could really change people's comfort level in their life. But I think the idea of owning your own business or being a higher level boss or just freelancing or just something outside of the regular thing that people are doing, I think has to do a lot more with control and freedom. I think it has to do a lot with just wanting to be able to decide what you're doing. I know for me, just having the freedom to decide when I work, or the fact that I might work every single day, many hours, but the fact that somebody's expecting me to be somewhere and to do a certain thing, and that I don't have complete autonomous control over something, sometimes just makes me want to do something else. And there's another aspect to this as well, and that's purpose. I know when I was in the military, I didn't always like the work I was doing. I didn't really like going out looking for IEDs, but I did still feel a sense of purpose. And so I didn't feel as driven at those times to go start a business or be a freelancer or something like that. So I think that the main, if I had to sum it into 3 things that I think drive people to want to be their own boss or leave their 9 to 5, I think it has to do with control, freedom, and purpose. Question number 2. What is it about working for someone else that makes people feel less fulfilled? Now, I'll share a story about myself. When I was in the military, like I've already said, I felt a lot of purpose and what the mission was behind everything we were doing. And it didn't matter what career field somebody came from. I felt like we were all serving this purpose of freedom, providing freedom for the country. It was just like this, like driven into you kind of concept that it didn't matter what you were doing. It was all for a greater purpose. And after I got out of the military, even going to work for family, it didn't really matter which job I've had since I've been out of the military. That sense of purpose just really hasn't been there. I think this sense of higher calling, feeling like you're doing something that's making a difference in the world or something, is something that a lot of people are looking for. Oftentimes when you have a job, I don't know, like let's say you worked at a grocery store or a restaurant, oftentimes I think people feel like they're just a body to fill up the hours and to do the thing. I don't know if people feel like the company really cares. I see a lot of trending videos right now where people are, talking about not giving 2-week notices because, the company would never give you a 2-week notice. Like that kind of a sense of feeling where you don't really feel really any sort of loyalty. Again, I referenced the military. There was a camaraderie between leadership and subordinates or troops or whatever you want to call them. It sounds kind of cold to be called a subordinate, but it was often sometimes the terminology that was used. But there was a camaraderie there. We all felt like we were in this team mindset. It was a one team, one fight kind of scenario where since I've been in the civilian world, it really most of the time hasn't really felt that way. Oftentimes it's you have expectations, good job today, but today's a new day. What have you done for me since? And I feel like that's kind of, that's business. I mean, it's not personal, it's just business. But I spend a lot of time at work, and I think everybody here does. I think we want something that is more, that we feel valued and we feel a sense of purpose. I don't know if that answered the question, but that's just what came to my mind to say. So, question number 3. What was your experience like when you left your 9 to 5 to do freelance work? So, quite a bit ago, I actually really got into marketing while I was working at a magazine. Because I was new to sales and I was new to the area, I started trying to find new tech-savvy ways to speak with people that I didn't know. So I would, instead of having to travel around the county, I would go out to different events, collect people's business cards, put it into like an email service like MailChimp. And whenever there was a sale that just started or a new promotion, I would just email blast everybody that I had come in contact with this personalized email and see if they were interested. That way I could spend time prospecting and then hear back and set up appointments to the people that I emailed. Now, that was my very beginning experience of online marketing kind of stuff. And that got the ball rolling for me, like to really become interested in digital marketing. And so I started taking some courses online about social media management and Facebook advertising and email marketing and conversion optimization, and the words can keep going on. But I spent quite a bit of money taking courses online, not college, but just courses, and developing my craft and skill and mindset about marketing and advertising and online sales and things. I ended up getting a few clients that I was on the verge of being able to go out full time. Something happened where I ended up not working at that place I was working at anymore, and I had no choice. I was full time. I built up a client base, generating a 6-figure income. But what I learned is I was not really a fan of all the business stuff. I didn't care for the sales. I didn't care for client services. I didn't care for a lot of reporting and talking with customers. I didn't really care for having other people work for me, like virtual assistants, and having to work out their pay and work out their tax situation. I just wanted to focus on the fun work of doing marketing. Because of that, business started to dwindle because I wasn't pursuing business as much. It didn't really help that in that time my mother passed away, so I really wasn't in the mood to go out and talk to people, but I don't think that was like the biggest factor, but I just really wasn't loving it. So I decided to get back into the workforce. What I noticed is I got a job at a really nice place called Better Holsters. They make holsters for people to carry, concealed carry firearms. And I found a lot of success there. I'm now the marketing manager there. We do a lot of online e-commerce business. I feel pretty valued there. I think people like me, or at least my bosses do most of the time. But one of the biggest benefits that I feel like I got from going to work there was I no longer had to worry about all the business aspects. I hear them talking about things like having to make sure they got enough space and then paying for workman's comp and insurance and all the tax stuff they have to deal with and documents and HR. And it's just like, golly, I'm glad I'm not dealing with that. The little bit that I did have to deal with while I was freelancing, I'm glad I'm not dealing with it anymore. So let's move on to question 4. What did you learn from being a freelancer? Well, I think I've kind of already answered that. So I kind of should have jumped ahead and checked this out before I answered all my questions. But I would say, just to give a little bit more experience, conversation about what I experienced, I also tried doing other things, especially because I still had some clients when I went to work at Better. And I was learning about e-commerce while I was working there. And I thought, hey, I could probably do one of them drop shipping stores. So I decided to do that. I got one of those, I set up a Shopify store. I started putting things on there from AliExpress. I got the whole thing set up. I started selling products on there, and then customers started saying stuff like, hey, this wasn't the right size, or hey, I didn't like it, or hey, whatever it was. And they wanted to do the whole returns process. And I was like, oh no, I don't want to do the customer service part either. I just want to have something really simple. So I knew right then that getting into e-commerce, other than doing the marketing part, I didn't want to get into. So question number 5. Why do you think becoming a full-time YouTuber might be the perfect compromise? Well, I don't know how ChatGPT figured out that I wanted to be a YouTuber someday, but I would have to say I don't know if it would be the perfect job in all aspects of being a YouTuber. I think maybe eventually I would get tired of doing the video editing and things, but I can't. If you get too big of being a YouTuber, you always hear these stories about how they have a whole team of video editors and they have writers and graphic designers and things. And I think that's probably the area of space and growth that I really don't want to get to. I'd rather be doing the stuff myself, I think, at least for now anyways. But I look at the being in the YouTuber space is you get to be creative. You have control over what you're putting out into the world. And if somebody doesn't like your video and they let you know, you don't have to let them keep following you. You can just block them, and you can just let people that like you keep following you. I don't know. It seems like if you can find a way to connect with people and they like you enough and they watch your stuff, you don't even have to sell them anything to make money. It's just you're entertaining them or educating them for some time. People enjoy it. They watch it long enough, and YouTube says, hey, thank you for giving us this content on our platform. We're going to pay you to let us put ads on your content. And I think that's a really cool exchange. Even if I couldn't make enough money to completely replace my day job, it would still be enough to supplement life. And like I said earlier in the video, I think $500 a month or something like that could really have a big impact in somebody's life. And I don't think that's out of reach for a lot of people if they just put in enough work and stay consistent and don't give up. Maybe one day I'll be there too. All right, so question number 6. What would your ideal day-to-day look like if you become a full-time YouTuber? I don't really know what I would. I guess I'd make very similar content to what I'm making now. I would just probably spend a bit more time on the editing and polishing of the actual video content. I don't know. I'm imagining like tomorrow. Tomorrow I'm on my way to the Florida Mall to pick up the new iPhone, the iPhone 16 Pro. And I kind of visualize if I was skilled enough, I might make a video of my journey to go get the iPhone 16 Pro. But during that journey, I would be sharing content like this. It would just be in a different setting. And there would be this backstory in the video of me going to get my iPhone 16 Pro. And maybe like showing an unboxing in the midst of talking about this same exact content, which is actually probably something I'm going to do, or at least give a shot at and see how it turns out. But what I'm meaning to say by that is to say, I feel like it would be a bit more lifestyle-ish content, maybe a bit of a vlog mixed in with some education, or maybe education with a mix of vlog. I don't know which one to say, but I think you get my point. I'd be sharing my life stories and knowledge and wisdom while I take you on a journey to do the things I want to do. Heck, we could even go to the grocery store or stop and get a steak somewhere. Ultimately, I'd love to have full creative control, not be tied into a niche or niche, however you say it. I think that's one of the biggest things is like if I'm going to be tied into a niche or niche, it's almost like having a boss. You're stuck and doing this one thing for a long time and you want to do something else, but for some reason people are telling you no. I think when you're dealing with that pigeonhole niche thing, it's almost like creating a boss for yourself. And I don't want to get like that. If I was niched, I'd rather be like the style of content, not the topic of content. But ultimately, I feel like that would give me like a freedom to do whatever I want. I could get up, have breakfast, shoot a video, edit it, publish it, and I can make a video every day. Or if it's a more complex video, maybe it's, maybe it takes a few days or a week or a month, or maybe it's a compilation that I'm planning over a long period of time. I mean, think about these bigger YouTubers. They could put out a few videos in a week. That'd be fun, at least right now. I mean, I've gone a whole month making videos every single day, and that was while I was working full time, and so it was at night. So I think I could do it if I had a full 8-hour day to make a video every day. On to the next question. What's stopping you from leaving your 9 to 5 and pursuing YouTube full-time right now? Well, that's easy to answer. YouTube pays me this much. My job pays me this much. And my bills are this much. So I need my job. It pays the bills. I have 2 kids and a wife, and they have a dog that I also help take care of. So I'm not leaving my job anytime soon, but it's just it's a potential thing someday. It's a part of the motivation and end goal, but it's not the journey. The journey is right now, and this is fun right now. It's exciting. It's like waiting for Christmas, Once Christmas comes, I don't know what it's going to look like. But I think it could be cool being a full-time YouTuber. But right now I'm a professional YouTuber because, I'm making money doing it because YouTube, I don't know if you saw my previous video, but I talked about how much YouTube paid me my first month of being a YouTuber. Maybe you want to check that out. I have to say, it's not enough to go full-time. That's all I'm going to say. You got to go check out the video yourself. I'll leave a little, there should be a little card up here if you want to go check it out. That's okay. On to the next question. Do you think YouTube could provide the financial freedom and control you are looking for? So I kind of got ahead of myself on that one as well, but I don't know what's happening. But I guess I should have looked at these questions before I talked. But yes, I do think YouTube can provide an opportunity for people to provide all the financial freedom that they need without having a 9-to-5 job. I don't know how long it's going to take for me, but I know for sure it's not going to be that I'm just going to rely solely on advertising from YouTube, Google AdSense. I actually just had a one-on-one conversation, the kind of podcast style, with a lady named Lily Kane. She's a big YouTuber in the carnivore space. She talked about her mix of income and how the YouTube advertising is more like second place, but her number one source of income is sponsorship. I could see someday the channel getting to a point where I get approached by businesses and they want to sponsor the videos. That would be cool. I also see the potential for some sort of a digital product that I might make. And I think that's a lot easier to deal with returns and refunds than actually have an inventory product and deal with sizing issues and things like that. So I think that might be a space I'll dive into someday, maybe. Affiliate stuff. I think I've made a little bit of money from affiliate stuff over the years, but nothing really. But speaking of affiliate stuff, if you're interested in any of the gear that I use, I will probably be linking it in the description of this video, so you can find that there. It's like an Amazon link. That doesn't cost you anything to use it. Wink. Also, since I'm already plugging in things, maybe a subscribe or a follow would be nice. But no, I think it's going to be a while before I'm able to go full-time into the full-time YouTuber space. But we'll just keep chugging along and see how it goes. And I'll do my best. On to the next question. How are you balancing your 9-to-5 job while working toward your YouTube goals? I don't know if everybody does it the same way as me, but I do it the best I know how. I have the 9-to-5 job. I have the kids. We got soccer games, cheerleading, band. I'm married. We got family dinners. We got getting ready for bed. We got TV shows that we watch together. We got the whole lifestyle. We got the whole life of being married. And I don't want to take away at all from any of that. So the compromise that I've made with my wife is that around 10 o'clock at night, it's my time. So what happens is she gets up pretty early in the morning. So about 9 or 8:30, 9 o'clock, she's getting in bed, and I've committed to scratching or rubbing her back until she falls asleep. Now, if she doesn't get in position for the back scratching and rubbing the back and stuff, hair rubbing, if she doesn't get in position in time, probably about 9:30, 9:45, chances are she's going to miss her window of a full rub down experience because she might not fall asleep in time that the 10, 10:05, 10:10 window actually hits. So she knows that when it's 9:30, she better be getting into the position, because it's usually 25, 30 minutes before she falls asleep. After she's fallen asleep, I get out, and if I'm feeling motivated enough and I'm feeling disciplined enough, it's a little bit of a struggle, but I get into my office and I start making videos. I try to do the whole process start to finish in one night. The great thing about the day, I can take some time for a little bit of ideation and come up with the ideas for a video that night or a video the next day or something. But I usually am being inspired in the moment about what video I'm going to make right then. I'll often use technology like ChatGPT to help me come up with an idea. I have some thoughts in my mind, help me organize them, kind of thing. But I'll record it, I'll edit it, I'll publish it, I'll do all of the description and everything while it's uploading into YouTube, and I'll make the thumbnail at the same time. So while it's all of the exporting and the uploading is my time to make the thumbnail. And I'm usually getting into bed probably about 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. Now, you would think with that schedule, I would make a video almost every night, right? But sometimes I don't feel like making one. And I do have this aspiration to make videos more often. But once I get one up, my commitment to myself is once a week. But because I'm a procrastinator and I don't know, I'm not very good at doing more work than I actually have to do. And since I've only committed to one, oftentimes I'm only going to put out one. But I could spread that whole week out and do like a little bit of work each night and not have to stay up very late. But once I get going, it's much easier for me to do another hour than it is for me to start up a whole other day with a whole other hour. So I find for my rhythm, it's best for me to just do it all in one sitting. I am experimenting with different things. Like you might see someday soon a video of me on my way home from work, just talking in the car, and then maybe I'll edit at night. We'll see how it works. I don't even know how the background sound is going to be, but that'll be an experiment. So look out for that. Next question. What advice would you give someone who's also dreaming of leaving their 9 to 5? Don't get comfortable. That little bit of motivation or thing that's like spurring you up, I know I can experience that. I said, sometimes, some days, there's like this little thing that tells me, I want to do something for myself. I want to have full control. I want to have full freedom. And some days are better than others. Some days I don't think about it at all. I'm happy with the work. I'm happy with the people, and I don't have any desire. But sometimes I think I might be a little bipolar-ish. I don't know. I get in the moods, and I just want the whole world to go away, and I just want to be able to do my own thing. And it's weird because I'm here hoping to talk to a whole bunch of people, but because I'm behind a camera, I still kind of feel like I'm alone and like a big space. It's like being I'm getting on a tangent, but it's like, imagine being in a city like New York City where nobody knows who you are, nobody's really paying attention to you, but you feel alone, even though there's like tons of people all around you. I don't know if that makes any sense, but that wasn't on topic for this question. So let's get back to it. What I try to do for myself is something I remember Dane Cook. He's a real funny comedian. Check him out, especially if you like people that are a little bit more edgy. He is funny, and one time he did this set where he talked about how he had a really bad day at work and he wanted to go home and cry. But he's a man and he's concerned about people finding out that he cries, right? So when he gets home, he's like holding it back. He finally gets to the door and opens the door and he checks to see if anybody's home by saying hello. And he's got that crack in his voice like he's about to cry. And he's just checking to see if anybody's home. And the moment he realizes nobody's home, he closes the door and he goes into this crying mode. And while he's crying, he starts thinking and reliving about all the things that have bothered him. He starts bringing things up from a week ago and just talking about how he did the best he could when he was a kid. And he's just bringing everything up to really get a real good cry in. And it's a real funny act. If you ever have seen it, talking about, I laughed really hard during that moment. And I've quoted it a couple times. Anyways, Dane Cook, he's a funny comedian. But that story relates to this same thing. some days you feel very comfortable at work and you just get into a rhythm and you totally forget about your dreams and you totally forget about your aspirations. But I want to encourage you to hold on to those. Stay vengeful, stay dedicated to following your dreams and doing the thing that you have aspirations for. Don't just settle. Don't go into the night. Don't be peaceful. Be aggressive. Be aggressive. Too long for my life have I not actually pursued things, and I spent too much time just wanting to learn and watch videos or read books and stuff and not actually taking action. So let that fire burn inside of you, pour gasoline on it, and for a long time, I believe, when you're making YouTube videos, it's you against the world. I haven't come out on the other side, the full-time YouTuber yet, but I have seen a glimpse of what is possible, and I'm excited for the future. I know that it is just a matter of time for the channel to grow and for the audience to come and for the development of one day becoming a full-time YouTuber. And I think that it's out there for everybody. So if that's something that you're interested in and you're excited to become one day, I think that you just have to buckle down and do it and just learn everything you can about it while also doing it. Like, you have to do it to learn. I think there was this, okay, one more little story and then we got to wrap this video up because it's already really long. It's a podcast length. So there's this TV show I watch a lot. It's called The Big Bang Theory. And there's this character in it named Sheldon. He's like a really smart guy, like a genius level. But he's got some quirkiness to him. And one of those things is that he does not like swimming or getting into a pool because the pool's dirty and all that stuff. So in order to learn how to swim, he read a book. And that was the end. He never actually went out and swam. And does he know how to swim? Maybe logically he knows the mechanics of it. But does he know how to do it? Could his body actually do it? Probably not. He needs to get out there and flail around a bit and see how to do it. And I think that's the same thing for YouTube, making content, putting it out there in the world, saying, how do you start a video? How do you make the thumbnails? Like, what software do you even use to make the thumbnails? I mean, there's so many different things that you really just need to get to doing. And the first step is just to start. So get out there, start making YouTube videos, then you'll be ahead of me sooner than you think. You'll be there. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you're interested in learning more about how I reached 1,000 subscribers, check out this video here because it tells you how I got to where I'm at. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.